And here we go. It's Flyers game day. It's Brian. Oh, I got the wrong graphic up there, don't I? Like, I'm not even close. I'm out of it today, man. It's like cold medicine. There we go. That's Flyers game day. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez, Flyers game day. Flyers and the Florida Panther tonight. Boy, the only team in the NHL that averages over 4 goals per game are the Panthers. But we're not going to start there tonight. We're actually going to start with some pretty big news that came out today, Brian. That's the extension of a 5-year, $5.1 million AAV. So 5 times, what is that? It's 5.5.
5.1, I think, was the official number.
25 million.
Yeah.
25.5 million overall for Rasmus Ristolainen. They get the deal done. They get a guy locked up.
It's a deal. I think that, you and I certainly saw it coming. We thought Flyers needed to lock him up. As soon as it kind of came out, I about 20 minutes after that just closed Twitter because I couldn't take it anymore.
But I didn't.
I've been sitting here watching this team all year, and to me, he is, second or third best defenseman I've seen. I don't know what I don't know if people are just looking at random numbers that people are posting and deciding that it's not good. But I think it's a piece that is going to benefit this team for quite some time. This is not somebody. I don't know if it was, somebody posted a picture of Mike Rathje in comparison. This ain't that. This is not anything like that. I don't think so. I guess this is going to be the true test of one of the true tests, I think, over the next few years of analytics versus eyes, because what you've talked to about as well as public analytics versus private analytics, because obviously the Flyers see things in them that they wanted to keep on their team, and obviously there's other teams out there that see things in them that they would want them on their team. So I guess we'll see what happens here, but it's a good deal, I think, overall for the organization. Good deal for him. And it's a good piece to have.
Yeah, I mean, since Mike Yeo took over, and that Sanheim Ristolainen pairing, we know that they've actually played a lot of minutes. They've been playing more minutes than Provorov has been playing in many of those games, and he's actually break even. I don't look at plus minus as an individual player stat; it's a team stat. But when you look at a team that's had such scoring issues like the Flyers have, that's pretty pronounced to me. The other part of it, his public analytics are what they are. They're not good. They're not. But there are intangible aspects to players that analytics don't see. And I think the analytics community, the staunch analytics people, and I'm not a staunch analytics person. I'm not staunchly against it. I think it's a tool. Right. And what Ian Anderson said to me on Flyers Daily was, we work directly, the analytics department, directly with hockey operations and Chuck and the coaching staff. And, ask them what they want information on. We give them information, and they deploy that information how they see fit. And again, to me, it just defies logic that you're going to grow a department of analytics to now 5 full-time people and just defy them like he's the worst player on the planet. Right. I just don't think that's logical. But I think that the analytics community likes to have a punching boy. They had Andrew McDonald, and he certainly was. And a part of that wasn't just Andrew McDonald. It was what he was getting paid. And what he's getting paid oftentimes in pro sports puts crosshairs on a guy. Because, to me, in sports, in anything, you get paid whatever you're worth and what you can get. That's your contract. And I don't begrudge anybody for trying to get more. And the odd thing is here, Bryce, he actually took a pay cut. He's at 5.4 now, and he's got a 5-year, 5 times 5 to not go to free agency.
Yeah. It's if it was something that, was not going to be offered by somebody else, I don't think the Flyers were going to be offering this number. This wasn't just something that was pulled out of thin air. The public analytics being what they are, still, we talked about it when the Flyers acquired him, that, his analytics, we thought in Buffalo needed to be taken into context. And I still think anything you pull out of this year needs to be taken into context as well, because it's still a team that is not what it was built to be. With everybody that's been out so far, you're looking for you're trying to slot Ristolainen into a defense where you've got, Ryan Ellis is one of your top defensemen, and Sean Couturier, a Selke Award winner, playing defense as well. So where he's going to fit in that overall scheme of things is going to look worse without those guys in there than it is with them, healthy and playing like the Flyers certainly hope they will be next year. So, it's not him that the Flyers need to replace if Ryan Ellis, doesn't come back next year or whatever, which I don't think there's any reason to think he won't. But that's not going to be the huge issue. So it to me is again just a matter of again trusting what the team's building right now and that they see a spot for him. You can't find anybody really in the organization that says anything bad about him in terms of him as a teammate or him as a performer. And I think that's a little far cry from some of the other guys that have come in and out of here over the years when, Ilya Bryzgalov comes to mind, that the Flyers brought him in and everybody around the league on the inside is kind of raising their eyebrows at that. There's a lot to like about what he brings to the table. And he's I think, proven to be somebody to take a chance on like that over the course of this year.
Yeah, Chuck Fletcher said in regard to Ristolainen, said, Rasmus is an important part of our team, and we are very happy to have him on our blue line for the next 5 years. He's committed to being a Flyer and brings a consistent physical presence to our team. So let's give you the best of highlights. Rasmus Ristolainen met with the media earlier today upon signing the 5-year extension to remain with the Philadelphia Flyers. And I had it, and you know what? I have it in that other layout. So we're going to have to wait a minute while I load it into this layout. It's just amazing, isn't it?
Behind the scenes events here. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think that it would just automatically put it in my other broadcast layout, but it did. And I tell you what, we'll just go there. And what I'll do is I'll get rid of my background and we'll go to Rasmus Ristolainen right here. Here we go.
How important was it for you? I know you mentioned it in the release that it was important to get it done before the deadline. Just how important was that, and how good is it to stay here for the next 5 years?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good to get it done as early as possible. I feel like I was pretty confident I wanted to stay. They wanted me to stay, so it's good to be here or in Philly. I love the city. I love the fan base, very, very passionate. And I love my teammates. I think I really enjoyed my time here. And I believe we can turn it around here real quick.
I'm just curious, when you decided that you kind of wanted to potentially get a new start and leave Buffalo, you mentioned a lot of it came down to, wanting to play for a winner. Obviously, this season hasn't gone the way anybody expected in Philadelphia, but, why do you have the confidence that this team during, your 5 years that you've signed for, can turn into the kind of winner that you want to be a part of?
I believe the pieces we have here and here for next year, I think it's a pretty good core. Obviously, some changes will happen and we'll see, but I trust the guys I share the locker room with.
Have you noticed just how much Philly and the fan base has kind of loved your style of play? Is that kind of why you like Philadelphia? Is that they really like the way you play?
Yeah, I appreciate all the love from fans, and I mean everything about the Flyers history, the players who played here, just the logo and the jersey and everything around it. I really, really like it and really intrigues me a lot. So I want to keep putting that jersey on and play for the city and the fans.
How pleased have you been with just kind of the way that this season your partnership has been with Travis Sanheim this year, and how much just did that give you the confidence that Philadelphia would be the place for you to sign and extend for an extended period of time?
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing with him, and hopefully we can play together for a long time. And obviously, it's not easy to find players you can enjoy playing and you could see yourself playing for a long time. And it's not just him, all the other guys here too. I really, really enjoyed it so far. So I wanted to stay.
For a lot of players, getting to that free agency and being able to shop yourself around the league is something that guys really look forward to. How hard was it for you to pass that up and say, you know what, Philly's the place I want to be and want to be here long term?
Yeah, obviously I was thinking about all the options a little bit, but honestly it wasn't too hard. Now, I mean, before this year, moving from Buffalo to here, I mean, it's kind of hassle. Like I don't like, you know, I just if I like it here, I don't need to go looking for something else for really no reason. So it was overall a pretty easy decision for me.
Adam, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, obviously, you were never in the playoffs with Buffalo, and you came here because you thought this team was going to be a winner. How tough has this season been for you? It's been kind of unexpected, I'm sure.
Yeah, the expectations were really high early in the year. We have a really good team on the paper, a lot of injuries. I mean, every team goes through injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a big disappointment. But I believe it's going to be only this one season, and next season we will be a lot better team.
This is not something that was, you know, just put together overnight between yourself, your agent, and the Flyers. This has been going on for a while. So has it been something that's been kind of on your mind as the process has been going on this whole time? Like, geez, you know, when is this going to get done? Or is this something you made a decision a month ago, 2 months ago? Yeah, I want to stay in Philadelphia. Agent, get it done, and then we'll figure it out when it's there.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of things I can control too much, so I don't really worry about stuff that it's going on off the ice. And I feel the process wasn't too long, and kind of both parties wanted to, you know, stay together. So it was actually a pretty quick and easy decision, and didn't really bother me at all.
You've been pretty keen in the past saying about your experience in Buffalo, how it didn't go so well, going through so many coaches, so many regimes. To come here this year and go through the same exact similar situation, does that give you any motivation for next year that, you know, that you're now part of this team for another long time and you will be part of the next future, but also you'll be laid on a little bit, that you know have been through that already?
Yeah, I mean, like going through this with all the guys here, I hope we all learn from this year, and we never want to go through this again. So I think it's a good brings a lot of good energy for next year, and I don't think any of us want to be in this same position ever again.
All right, there we go. Rasmus Ristolainen addressing the media earlier today. It's Brian Smith, Jason Martinez. It is Flyers game day. And yeah, it's interesting because, you know, we heard some rumors about numbers being thrown out there. And when he ended up signing actually for less money than he's getting now, I think that shocked a lot of people, but didn't appease some, but shocked a lot.
I heard some people when it was rumbling around, you know, just chattering about how, you know, the team's about to do something dumb or whatever. And I'm, you know, the only thing I could really say was, all right, well, at least it's 5x5 instead of 6x6, if that's the way you're going to look at it. I don't really know how to argue with it at this point, because, you know, I just know that what we've seen this year has been a lot better than what, you know, some of these numbers are saying. You know, that's the only way I can look at it. You know, he had 6 hits and 6 blocked shots the other night. There's only been 2 other defensemen in the league to do that this year, Mackenzie Weegar and Luke Schenn. And, you know, it's only been, you know, I think the 12th Flyer to do that since they started tracking the stats in 2005. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often. So that kind of thing to me is why you're bringing them in. You're not bringing them in to be a shutdown defenseman. You're not looking at him to be a Norris Trophy winner. You're not looking at him to be the guy that you throw out there every night that's going to shut down the McDavids and all that of this current year and whoever's coming down the pike next few years. You're putting him out there on your roster to play the hard-nosed role that he has been playing this year, to go out there and stir things up and you know, make guys be accountable, basically make sure they know that if they go to the net while he's out there, that there's going to be a bit of a price to pay. So that to me is the kind of role he plays, and I think it fits him very well. And I don't think that the same analytics numbers that can apply to an Adam Fox or somebody like that would be the way to evaluate Rasmus Ristolainen. I think is what it comes down to in my head.
It's interesting. We talked about what Mike Yeo said about, being a teammate is sometimes you got to, when a guy is slipping, you got to bring him back into the battle. And Bill Meltzer just texted me this quote from Justin Braun, who's obviously been in the league a long time, grizzled vet and right side defenseman as well. And he said, coming into the season, you knew he, as in Ristolainen, was a heavy player. I said, he said, but he brings that physical presence and compete level every night. He has the work ethic and he can bring other guys into the battle.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. I mean, a big physical player like that, almost entitles other players to get into be a more physical player. And you can see the little bit of difference in, Travis Sanheim's not a player that's a physical player. He's a tall guy, lanky per se, is not the most physical player, but even he's got a little bit of bite, and that's kind of developed over this season playing next to Ristolainen. So I think that's been a byproduct of it.
Yeah, and I also don't think that going into next season he's going to be the same player that he was coming into this season. I think he's got room. I think he's still got room to grow, even though where he's at in his age. Because when he came here, one of the things that was expected and really happened in terms of the coaching staff was that they were going to have to change some aspects of his game. He had developed some habits, both in games and in practices, that the coaching staff wanted him to get rid of. And, it certainly sounds like they have done that. And so, he approaches the off season and goes into next season having already eliminated the parts of the game that they wanted him to shore up. To me, that makes him, a step better next season, going into his second full year as a Flyer.
Yeah, he came with something they've diagnosed it. It's called buffalitis. And it takes a little time to clear up.
Yeah.
Right? Buffalitis doesn't go. I've likened getting out of Buffalo to the hands of a car mechanic, where when you get done your workday and you got all that grease under your fingernails, that grime, you don't just wash the buffalitis off a guy with just a squirt of the foam cucumber watermelon dish soap. You got to get in there with some heavy duty crap.
Takes a couple of weeks before it's finally gone.
Yeah, he's not going to have Paul Malov soft hands right away. Buffalitis is not something that's a treatment. It takes a little time.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of it this year. I think just in the microcosm of this year. First couple of months, there was kind of like, stop doing that. And then, occasionally, over the course of like late November and into December, especially after the coaching change, he became a guy that you saw him out there on the ice. It's like, all right, let's go. Let's see what you can, So I've liked that. And then, this pairing too has been, I know Dreger and some of the guys were throwing around Sanheim maybe leaving now, but this pairing has been basically the one constant the Flyers had all season long that they wanted to have at the start of the year with these two guys playing together.
Yeah, that seemed odd to me, the whole mention of Sanheim. We're going to join our radio audience here in a moment. Sorry, I keep having to mute my mic to cough. Oh, it's time for Philadelphia Flyers hockey. They're back on the road. Jason Martinez in the home studio. Brian Smith in the panel-laden home studio as Flyers and Panthers get set to do battle tonight. What's going on, Brian?
That's going to be gone by next year, by the way. We have
Didn't you say that two seasons ago?
We have discussions in progress. The contractor's already rolling on. So so we are in the process of getting rid of this. That is for sure.
Did the boss approve the budget plan?
Yep, but everything's
being the wife
and ready to go, and it's all good. So we are rocking and rolling. So we're going to have a new and improved home studio by next year.
Love it. And maybe a new and improved Flyers roster as well. They locked up Rasmus Ristolainen today, 5 times 5.1 for the big blue liner. But it's the Flyers and the Panthers tonight. Now, Bri, there's only one team in the entire NHL that averages more than 4 goals a game. Can you guess who it is?
The Florida Panthers.
That would be them. Maybe see them tonight. Good guess.
Yeah, I mean, who saw this coming? I mean, I'm not sure that I did. You know, we didn't see the Panthers last year. Obviously, they've kind of crept up a little bit. You know, it wasn't too long ago where they were getting fleeced by the Vegas Golden Knights for Jonathan Marsh's show, and they're, you know, firing their coach and leaving them at the curb in some road city. But you know, they've certainly turned it around a bit, and they've survived having to change their head coach. Really, not because of anything to do with his team's performance. You know, they you know, that could have easily tanked things down there. What happened earlier this season, but they've survived all of it, and yeah, they are a very formidable foe right now in the Eastern Conference, and as a result, possible trade destination for several Flyers.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of scouting between the two clubs. They don't have to travel to scout each other tonight because they're playing each other. And in the Flyers' next 2 games, tonight in Florida and then coming up on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock against Carolina Hurricanes, they're facing the number 3 points percentage team, Florida, tonight, and the number 2 points percentage team in the NHL, Carolina, on Saturday. Number 1, by the way, is Colorado in the Western Conference. So 2 tough opponents here back to back.
Yeah. This is not an easy trip down south anymore. I mean, you go back 5 years and you're going down here and you're enjoying the sunshine. You're coming back with 4 points, and
yeah, you're just hoping to hit 76 or lower on the golf course.
Exactly. That's not the case anymore going through these 2 towns. They have really come of age, and it's full credit to, you know, a couple of guys that run their organization a little differently than I wish they did in terms of, you know, things off the ice, but you know, that you can't fault what they're doing on the ice down there in the Sun Belt. You know, either of these 2 teams. So, you know, it is a bit of a tall order here for the Flyers over the next 2 games. It's not going to get much easier either, because, you know, they do have Montreal coming into town on Sunday, but then eventually they're going to be back out on the road again, and that first road trip after the trade deadline is a bear of a road trip through the Midwest, taking on some of the West's best teams. So sharpen up for it now, get ready to go.
It's not often that you see a team that's got 3 or 4 guys averaging over a point per game.
Yeah.
But when you're the highest scoring team in the NHL, more than 4 goals per game, you've got that here. Leading the way is Brian, a guy that you really got to talk about as perhaps being he's not just a serious candidate, but he may be the front runner for the Hart Trophy as the NHL's MVP, and that's Jonathan Huberdeau. I mean, 57 games played. How about 18 goals, 60 assists, 78 points, 21 power play assists. He's got a shorthanded goal. He's got 3 power play goals. Plays about 20 minutes a night, plus 23 on the season. You know, it's oftentimes a lot about Barkov, who's also got 57 points in 44 games, but the season that Huberdeau's having has been off the charts.
You know, that's what makes this team so dangerous, is you can't just shut down one guy. You know, when you have teams scoring the way they are, you know, it's just it is a huge problem. You know, who is Huberdeau going to set up? Most of the time it's Barkov. Could be Sam Reinhart on a given night. Could be Anthony Duclair. And then you've got the defense chipping in the way they are as well. Aaron Ekblad, who is a stud. I mean, he was drafted in Philadelphia in 2014, and you could tell then he was going to be a real good player. Flyers reportedly put a lot out there to try to get him at that draft, and they were rebuffed by Florida, and that certainly looks good for them now. Mackenzie Weegar, 35 points on the year. You know, a lot of the scoring not coming only from up front, but from the defense as well. So they have all kinds of weapons clicking together right now, and that's what makes them so hard to stop.
It really does. I mean, you look at it, Reinhart, point per game player, 54 points. You mentioned Ekblad, 50 points in 56 games. Duclair's got 44 and 49 games. I mean, even down the line a little bit, Mason Marchment, who hasn't played a ton, 32 games, he's got 34 points. You know, Barkov was the guy that was always mentioned as the best player in the NHL that not many people knew about. And Huberdeau's been there even longer, and he certainly fits that bill as well. And he's been a great player. But tonight in net for the Florida Panthers is an old friend, and that is Sergei Bobrovsky. He's got great numbers. Yeah, great numbers against the Flyers. And once again, how about this record that he has this season in 40 games? 29 wins, 6 losses, 3 overtime losses, .255 goals against average and a .916 save percentage. Even though the save percentage is not that high, it's still stunning. It just tells you that the score, he gets a lot of run support. But he's always been good against the Flyers. It'll be Bob versus Carter Hart tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a great goaltending matchup, and it's going to be hopefully the Flyers will see how well they can keep up with this offense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, stay tuned. Tim Saunders, Steve Coates in the countdown to face off right after this on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Oh, my countdown clock stopped. Sorry about that.
I'm like, hey, no matter.
Damn it. I don't know why it does that.
Good old
bug.
Good old technology right there, huh, folks?
My countdown clock froze, and then I looked up and I heard something. I saw 7 o'clock. I'm like, oh my god! All right.
Yeah, we were kind of stuck there between if I was going to take another question or not, and I wasn't sure. And then it's like, oh yeah, look at that.
Ryan didn't say anything in my ear. Did he say something in yours?
No, but I'm not sure that normally he would unless we got like really late.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, everybody. That's how we screw it up on Flyers game day right
like
there.
3.5 weeks since we had a road game, folks.
I know.
We had to do this.
We don't have the big Jumbotron clock right in front of us.
Yeah.